Hello everyone on YouTube. I'm back again with another answer to a very popular question that I've been hearing a lot. Even though it is a question that has been much more heard throughout the African American community, I believe that it is a question and it is an issue that is going on throughout all ethnic groups inside of the United States. Men want to know why it is that they simply can't seem to get along, or they can't seem to stand their women. Now, like I said, even though it's a question that has been stereotypically known throughout the black community about, how African American women have very bad attitudes, about why they're always snapping their fingers and always running off their mouths, being completely disrespectful. I believe that it is an issue that is encountered in all ethnic groups. I can also speak in behalf of the Latino group as well, because I consider myself a Mexican American. I have a lot of women just like that. Women with bad attitudes, women who were never married. I'm talking about my sister, I'm talking about my cousins, women who were never married because they simply were intolerable. In other words, because men simply couldn't tolerate them. They probably had a boyfriend here and there, but ultimately, they're in their 40s and 30s, just haven't never gotten married, ultimately because of who they are. Now, there's a lot of theories out there as to why American women are intolerable, about why it is that, one, they have the highest divorce rate, and two, why nowadays it doesn't even seem like they're getting married. Well, there's been, some theories out there that, it's because they have a lot of pride. That can be one. Or the reason because that they're very materialistic, because they like to fight, because they like drama, and men are much more, we're much more laid back. But ultimately, the reason why women are intolerable, the reason why we simply can't tolerate them anymore, why we can't, American women, is because American women, regardless of their ethnic group, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're Latino, whether they're Asian, is because American women lack discipline. I'm talking about the same discipline that we men were taught by our parents. Some of us, we were taught the discipline with the belt. Some of us with the stick, like me. So we live in a country where women go by undisciplined. And ultimately, because these women go by undisciplined, they grow up thinking that they can do whatever they want, that they can snap their fingers at you and flick you off and tell you to fuck off, and without any consequence ever happening to them. And because we lived in such a pussy whipped society where women are put on a pedestal, where women are sought to be, God's gift to man, where women are always right and we men are always wrong, because we live in that society, it is almost against the law to discipline a woman, especially in the most effective way, which is in the physical way. Now, being a Mexican American, I can compare and contrast this theory because I go to Mexico every 2 to 3 years. So I'm able to see the difference, that the difference in the women of Mexico compared to the difference in the women here in America. And ultimately, the biggest difference has to come in the area of discipline. Because in Mexico, that would never happen. The women get beat in Mexico. And now, hitting somebody physically, isn't exactly a pretty sight. However, it is very effective. It is very effective. The women who do get beat in Mexico, eventually, because they're put in line, they eventually grow up, they get married because they are disciplined. I don't necessarily want to say submissive, but they listen to their men, they respect their men, and they cater to their men. And ultimately, they love their men. And that's the kind of women that we men want. In Mexico, over there, that would not happen. All this stuff that happens here in America, with women getting attitudes and flicking you off, oh no, they will get their asses beat out there in Mexico. That's not going to happen. Mexico is just a few-hour drive south. And you will see that for yourself. Over there, that simply won't happen. Latino men, Latin countries, Asian countries, African countries, we simply will not allow what the white countries do allow. Now, I believe that white men like to get bitched. I really think they do. It's the reason why they allow all this. Whenever, now me, if I see a woman getting hit, I'm not going to jump in, like a Superman and say, dun, 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 what's going on here? I'm not going to do that, because I believe that some people need to get their asses kicked. Whether they're men, whether they're women, whether it's a dog, whether it's a cat. If someone gets hit, there's usually a reason behind that. Now, if you're not going to get involved when you see a woman spank her child, there's no reason why you as a man should get involved when you see a man spank his woman. There's simply no reason for that. I know I never will, unless maybe he's beating her after she's unconscious. Oh, okay, maybe then yes. But ultimately, it's a discipline. It's a discipline, and the reason why these girls roll all over you guys is because they know they can, and because they know that no one can stop them, and no one is going to stop them, even though they want someone to stop them. They want someone to put them, subconsciously, they want someone to put them in line. They want a guy to step in there and slap her as hard as he can across the face and say, you know what, bitch, that's enough of your shit. That's enough. Women want that. But, like I said, because we lived in such a bitch-made society, that's simply not going to happen. And especially with the election of, the inevitable election of Hillary Clinton as president, well, yeah, that's not going to happen. Which means that, unfortunately, this country is going to get even worse. The dating marriage society is going to go even worse. I think right now the divorce rate is about 55%. It's only going to get worse. You guys out there, especially you colored men out there, you minority men, non-white men out there, you guys need to do what I'm doing. You guys need to pack your bags and simply leave America. That's what you need to do. The divorce rate when an American man marries an American woman is 55%. The divorce rate when an American man marries a foreign woman, a woman who was born outside of America, is 20%. That's a huge difference. That's almost 1/3 of the difference. The numbers don't lie. And if the numbers aren't enough to convince you, then probably nothing ever will. But that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do, because I'm a traditional man, and I believe in traditional values. I believe that the man needs to be, the head of the household. He's basically the police officer in his house, and if the police officers here in America want us as a people to submit to their every word that comes out of their mouth, I simply do not see a problem with a man wanting the same thing from his family, because the man in his household is the police officer. The man is the police officer in his household, and he has a God-given right to impose his laws on his family. And no law and no government should ever come between that. And that is a law that is a God-given law that is very popular in non-white countries. Mexico, Latin America, Africa, Asia. The government doesn't get involved when a father or mother discipline their children, or even when a father disciplines the mother. They do not get involved. Here in America, they do. I mean, here in America, like I said, you can't do that here. You can't discipline your woman, you can't discipline your children, and that's the reason why things are messed up the way they are. Because the government is basically out to attack the man and protect the women and children. I mean, that's the way it is here, and that's the reason why things are so messed up here, socially speaking, and why things will continue to get worse.